welcome to the Stop, Drop, and Knit podcast. This is episode 29. My name is Lisa. I am coming to you from Long Island, New York, and I'm feeling a little bit risky today because it is a little bit sprinkly out here today. We have some rain coming later this evening, and no joke, I brought everything outside to record the podcast today. I stepped inside for a minute to have a quick bite to eat, and then I came right back out and there were raindrops all over the deck. And of course all my stuff is out here. It's okay because it's pretty much all in bags and everything, and it looks like it maybe sprinkled for maybe 30 seconds. I don't even know. So yeah, we're gonna try. I just really enjoy being outside and having the birds. It's so much nicer to be out here than it is in my dark basement with some fake lights. So yeah, let's just hope that the weather holds out for a bit. Okay, so because it is an overcast day, I am wearing a knit object for this video today. So let's just jump right into what am I wearing. So since the weather is somewhat cooperating with me today, I was able to throw on a knit object for the podcast. This is my lightweight hipster shawl by Joji Locatelli, and this is a pattern that I finished very recently. I think I finished the shawl itself without the fringe maybe 5 weeks ago, something like that. And then I was waiting to add the fringe until I finished another sweater because I needed to kind of combine a few different colors to make the fringe because I didn't have enough of the main color left. So I had gotten a skein of the Magpie Fibers Swanky sock as a swap in my fiber share from a partner a couple of swaps ago, and I just had it sitting in my stash. I think it is from their Fiber Society. It's color number 5, and it's like this beautiful, kind of get a little bit closer so you guys can see. It's like a beautiful silvery gray with dark plum speckles and green spots, and the color is just gorgeous. I love it so much. And so I haven't worn it yet because when I finished it, it was too hot to wear a shawl. So I actually, this is the first time I'm wearing it, and I'm not really sure how to style it yet. I just kind of twisted it around a couple times and then just tied it in the back so it stayed secure. I don't know. I think it works like this. I don't know if this is the way I will always wear it. I have such trouble figuring out how to style these things, but I think if I just keep knitting more and more of them, then hopefully I will eventually figure it out. I don't know. How do you guys wear your shawls? I think there's always more than one way to wear them. I don't know. I feel like I end up fussing with them a lot, and then I'm afraid that it's gonna fall out of place. And I'm like, if I get it the way that I want it, I'm like, you have to stay frozen so it never moves. So yeah, I really, really love this yarn. The pattern was pretty fun to knit. If you guys want to go back and hear me talk about the hipster shawl, it was a few episodes ago. I talked more about some of the struggles I had with doing too tight yarn overs for these sections here, and by the 4th time for that pattern I finally loosened up and it was no problem. But I did struggle with my tension being too tight and then things getting all kind of stuck along the needles as I was working on that, and it took me until the 4th round of it, until the 4th row of it, to figure out to just loosen up my tension. So, and then that worked just fine, and the last time was no problem. So yeah, I mean, it is not hot out here today, thank goodness. We had a heat wave earlier this week. It was heat index of 100, and if it were still like that today, I would not be sitting here podcasting outside today, and B, not wearing a knitted object at all. So so that is what I have for what am I wearing. I do not have any finished objects, so we are going to move right on into WIPS. Okay, so this technically is not a whip yet because I have not cast anything on with this yarn. But I did bring this out to show you guys this firefly yarn yesterday by, oh my gosh, let me get the tag because I forget. So this is by HBFC, which is the Humble Bumble Fibers Co. So that's what this yarn is. It's something that I picked up at a shop in Syracuse a couple of springs ago when I went up toward Rochester for a job interview. And yeah, we were up in there, so we found a yarn shop in Syracuse that was open, and I picked this up. I love this. And so last week I showed you guys this. I had intended to use it for socks. And now I am just thinking, I don't think I want to make socks with this because it is so pretty. So I wanted to ask you guys, because I haven't had a chance yet to go searching for a pattern. I was thinking that this would make a really fun shawl, and I only have one skein plus this fluorescent yellow, which it's blowing out completely on the camera, but it's so pretty. So I wanted to ask you guys, do you know, I don't want to do the hipster again. I guess I could, but what I was thinking is if I could find a pattern for a one skein shawl that maybe had a few rows every once in a while of a contrasting color, like in between sections, or some kind of fun like edging detail, because I want to definitely use this yellow as well. So I want to find a shawl pattern, one skein. I think this is it's 400 yards, so I've got 400 yards plus, I don't know how many this is, probably maybe like 50, between 20 and 50. I really have no idea, because I don't think it says. Yeah, so I have no idea how much yardage this one is, but it looks like a decent size mini. It looks more than like 20 grams. It looks, maybe it's like, 20, it's probably about 20 grams, right? So however many yards that is, 80-ish maybe, is that right? If this is 100 grams is 400 yards. Hear me trying to do math. So if 100 grams is 400 yards. If this is 20 grams, then that would be less than 100. I don't know the exact number. It would be less than 100, 80 something, 86, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, so give me ideas. I'm gonna go search too, but I couldn't bear to cast on socks with this because it's just so pretty. I think that this one needs to. Apparently that bug thinks it is really pretty too. I thought it was a bee for a second. We have some wasps that fly like right around here. That was just a bug. Anyway, that distracted me. Anyway, so one skein, it's too pretty for socks. I think this needs to be a shawl. So give me your project ideas for this. I cannot wait to hear them. I'm gonna search and see what I can find as well. But I definitely want to incorporate some maybe like garter bumps or something to break up a section or two. I don't know. I have like a vision in my head, and now I just need to find a pattern because I'm not gonna write a pattern for it. So, okay. So that is the first, not yet whip, but wants to be a whip. That wants to be a whip. Okay, so speaking of things that are not yet whips, but I'm trying to make them into whips. Let's start here. Let's start small and work our way up to things that are actually in progress. Okay, so I made another swatch. You guys know that I scrapped the idea of using the pine cone yarn for a test knit sweater that I'm going to do. Thank goodness Annie's kids are home for the summer too, and she is a little behind because I just can't figure out what yarn I want to use for this sweater. So she moved the deadlines like a week back for each of them, so I have time. But okay, so I did another swatch in my yarn that I dyed with the rhododendron flower blossoms, and that is what this looks like. It is like a straight up gold color. I think it is so pretty. So I think that I want to do the sweater in this yarn. Problem is I didn't meet gauge. So now I've got like, take 2 of a swatch. I just had straight needles there. I don't usually knit with straight needles, but I've got take 2 of a swatch, a size up on needles, but I didn't get that far with it last night. So I just don't know if I'm gonna like the fabric. I don't know if I'm gonna like the fabric, so I'm gonna have to see. But I at least think that this color is going to work on me for sure for a sweater. This gold color, it's so pretty. Purple flowers made this. You guys remember I showed you those? My thing is I'm not sure if I'm gonna still like the fabric. So I have to see if it is going to work out for me to use the rhododendron yarn. So for this particular sweater, my row gauge actually needs to be super accurate because it is knit in pieces and there's a chart and there's like a certain amount of rows for the pattern on the front. And the last time I knit a sweater, she did the same thing for the back, whereas like instead of knitting to a certain amount of inches, which is what I usually do, and row gauge doesn't matter, it's like you're knitting a certain number of rows. And so I'm only supposed to have, I think the gauge is supposed to be on size 3 needles, 24 stitches and 28 rows. And I'm getting like 26 stitches and 34 rows or something. I mean, like my row gauge is so far off, which is just gonna make the sweater more cropped than I'm going to want it. So I have started the swatch again. I actually washed and blocked my swatch, you guys. I don't swatch. I'm glad I'm swatching, but this is like a professional looking swatch. Pretty pleased with myself about that. It's so like I did everything right for this swatch, except I didn't meet gauge, which is the whole purpose of swatching. So I had the size up in straight needles sitting right there from my Hedwig that I was working on. So I picked up these because they were the right size, and my swatch is back and forth anyway. So I'm just doing my swatch on these. The sweater I will be knitting on circulars. But yeah, I think that my gauge is going to be better going a size up to 4s. I'm just hoping that I still like the fabric, which I think will be fine for the stockinette section. I might not really know how much I like it though until I do the textured, the twisted stitches pattern on it. So I'm still figuring this one out. If this doesn't work, if I don't like the fabric, I mean, I think that this color, definitely I'm not gonna look naked in this bright gold color. And I think that this color is going to look really nice. The other option that I've been considering, which this yarn looks thicker, so I'll probably have an easier time making gauge on it, is to use my oak leaf yarn. And so I haven't swatched with it yet. I wanted to bring it out here and I wanted your opinion. I have so many questions for you guys today. So I can do the sweater, and I can't show you what the sweater looks like, so you guys just have to go with the color. We can do the rhododendron, which is this gold, or I can see if I can meet gauge with my oak leaf yarn. And I think that this one would look really nice too. So do you guys have a preference? What do you think? So yeah, I'm still in that I'm figuring it out stage. So I'm glad I have an extra week because I don't really have that much time left to figure this out. I just need to get knitting. But I need to meet gauge. and I need to have a yarn that's not going to make me look naked. I don't think this one makes me look naked, so I think that this one will look lovely too. So what do you guys think? Do I go with the gold, the rhododendron, which will be beautiful for the fall? It is a short sleeve sweater, so it'll probably be like a transition into fall sweater. So I think that'll look really nice. Or should I just try to make gauge and see how the oak leaf one works out? What do you guys think? Let me know. I also wanted to let you guys know that I finally have my video up on YouTube showing you guys how I dyed this yarn for the oak leaves and also the oak bark yarn, which I did not bring out here. I'm not going to use that one for the sweater because I have more yardage than I need, so I'm going to save that one for a different project, like a long sleeve sweater or something. But this one I will only need 2 skeins, and I only have 2 skeins, so I thought maybe this one, or this one I only have the same amount of yardage too. So these are both the right amount of yardage that I need. What color should I do? My video is out. I think it's a really fun video. Yeah, I had a lot of fun putting the video together. I know that a lot of you guys probably just don't need to see the whole process, but I know that a lot of you are also very interested in seeing the process, and it's like a tutorial style. So I filmed the whole, like, all my steps along the way, and then I put little text slides into the video too with like a written out, like, step-by-step thing, so you guys can like pause and jot notes down and stuff like that. I know that some of you are really interested in trying this on your own at home. So if you haven't seen that video, I encourage you to go check that out because I thought it was a really fun one, and I enjoyed watching it back before I stuck it up there, and I hope that you guys really like it too. So that has come out. Okay, so these are not quite WIPs. Now I have actual WIPs to share with you guys. So, all right, let's move on to those. Oh, before we do that, announcement. Okay. It is July 2nd today that I am filming. So it will be July 4th when this video comes out, which is also my 8th wedding anniversary. Bryce and I got married on 4th of July in 2013. So this is 8 years of wedded bliss almost for us. He is amazing. So Bryce, happy anniversary if you are watching this today. Anyway, that's not my announcement. My announcement has to do with the fact that it is July, and I told you guys that I was going to start a Christmas in July knitting thread in the Ravelry group, Instagram. Yeah, I don't have a hashtag for it yet. I will come up with something and post it right here for you guys to see when I am editing. But since it is July, I am going to find a Christmas project to knit. I kind of want to knit my Santa hat, so that's kind of ready to go because I don't really have anything else in mind. But I know back when I was working on the garland sweater and Christmas projects in the fall, we mentioned maybe doing some Christmas and July stuff. So even if I don't participate so much myself, I am going to open up a Ravelry thread for you guys to participate in if you are interested in doing that. So I will open up a thread, I will come up with a hashtag, and I will try to knit something. I also wanted to know, should it just be for the month of July, or maybe it should just be for the month of July? So just like knock something off your holiday knitting list this month and just kind of get it out of the way, or maybe start on your Christmas sweater if you are knitting a Christmas sweater, holiday sweater, anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that Ravelry thread for you guys and start your Christmas knitting, start your holiday knitting, post your projects there, and at some point I will choose some kind of prize for somebody who participates. I am kind of getting to the point where I need to start doing some giveaway prizes here. So things will be happening soon. Okay, so another thread that you guys all know that we have going on right now is our Harry Potter Knitting Magic Knit-Along book thread. in case you missed the announcement, Tanis Gray has book 2 coming out September 28th. So you guys can go ahead and pre-order that through the link below this video. And if you want to join in and don't yet have this book, I also have this book linked below the video. So I made some serious progress on Hedwig last night, and so I'm gonna dig her out. Thank you guys all, so many of you, in not last week's video but the week before. I have been referring to Hedwig as a he because I didn't know that Hedwig is a girl's name. I also have not read the books, and I've only seen some of the movies, and I guess I missed if there was any reference to Hedwig being a she. So a whole bunch of you guys have corrected me, and I appreciate that very much. I keep accidentally saying he, so please forgive me if I do. Every time I catch myself saying he, I will try to find it and edit it, and not edit in, but you know, edit something on the screen in the editing process to catch myself. It's gonna take a while, but she is coming along really, really nicely. So I wanted to show you the progress that I've made on Hedwig. So last night, it's been like 2 weeks since I have knit on her, but last night I put on the head. So you guys can see, it's kind of blowing out a lot because she's really bright. I don't know if I hold it back here. I don't know. She's blowing out. This is a Malabriga Rios in natural color, undyed. And so I added the head, which is this big section. So last time you saw it, it was like that. So I've got her feet and her tail feathers and her talons. So last night I added the head, and then I also I got the first of the 2 wings done. These wings are so much fun to knit, you guys, oh my goodness. So the wings, let me show you the yarn. I was so excited to finally cake this up last night. So this is Mittens. It's a worsted weight yarn, it's vintage, and it is 200 yards, and the color is Optic 305-P. So that's what that is called. But yeah, so it is a natural colored yarn with black speckles, and so I thought that this would be really great for her wings. Throw it out. Okay, and so last night I got the first one done, and it was so much fun to knit this thing. I'm so glad I have another one to go. So this is the upper wing, and this is what it is looking like so far. So what you did is you like cast on over here, and then you do increases along one side, and the scallopy section was like the most fun thing to knit in the world. So there was that, and then that sits on top of the lower wing somehow, like that. And this one was really fun. This one has like a ribbing to it, so it's nice and stretchy, and then it's got that awesome scalloped edge. Oh my gosh, so much fun to knit. So I'm actually really excited to go back and knit the left wing now. Not exactly sure how this goes. I think it goes maybe like that somehow, and that's gonna sit on one side of her back somehow. Yeah, so I don't know, it gets layered somehow, kind of sort of like that, but it was so fun. And yeah, so let's see, I guess it's probably this side maybe, so it's gonna sit maybe like that, and then maybe, I don't know, not like that. I don't know exactly how, but yeah, I'll figure it out in the putting it together process, but look at how cool that's gonna look. Can you guys even see that, or is it totally blowing out? No idea. So, oh my goodness, it's gonna look so great. I'm so thrilled with how this is coming out. So the next step, I guess, is to do the left wing, and then it's gonna be like stuffing it, and then I've got to shape the head, which is the part that I'm super scared about, because I've read in people's project pages that shaping the head was kind of a nightmare. But I think that somebody also made like a little tutorial to show you guys, to show people how to do it. So I'm gonna probably search for that. Yeah, so let me go get the bigger picture, and you guys can see how the wings sit up there. So this is a back view of Hedwig. So the ribbing is really stretchy, so I'm sure that when you stitch it onto the body, like I'll be stretching it out a bit to get it to sit exactly in place. And then I want to get it from another side too, if I can find it. Yeah. So then that's a closer up of what the wing is going to look like, how those two parts sit together as well. I'm really scared about the head, and I have to check. I have like a whole variety pack of eyes, and I have to check and see if I have yellow. I might also need to order some eyes. I kind of feel like Hedwig needs to have just the right eyes to be looking like Hedwig. So that is the status of Hedwig, and I do have one more WIP to show you guys. Before I dig that out, I want to open up my jar because I forgot to open it up. So we're gonna let my lichen jar oxidate. We're gonna let some oxygen get in there for the rest of the podcast. Okay, so I have another test knit that I have already started. It is now in progress, that I am doing for Annie Lupton of Boho Chic Fiber Co. Now this one, I have not shown it to you in progress yet, but I did show you my swatches, right? So this is with my Wonderland yarns that I got. I am a brand ambassador, and so they sent me this beautiful yarn for free to work with, and the pattern that I chose was Annie's sweater to knit it up to. So this is what it looks like in the skein. So this is their Alice DK base. It is color 191 in Kerfluffle. It is so pretty. You guys, I need to let you know a couple of things about Wonderland yarns here. First of all, right now, when you guys are watching this, if you guys are catching this either on Sunday or Monday when this video comes out, July 4th and 5th. So right now, from today all the way through Monday, July 5th, they are having a summer sale for 15% off. I think the code is summer15. I will double check that, but I'll put it on the screen. I'll also have a link to their website in the show notes below this video, and I will have the code there as well for you guys. That is the first thing. The second thing that I wanted to let you guys know is that lately on Instagram, in Wonderland Yarns stories on Fridays at either 11 or 11:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, only on Instagram, in the Instagram stories, Wonderland Yarns on Fridays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time has been posting overstock or like older things that they are no longer going to be selling, colorways and such like that, at a discount through their Instagram stories to like, tell you, it's so noisy. I will eventually spit this out without noise. Okay, anyway, they have been posting like just older colorways, things that they're maybe discontinuing at a discount for like first come, first serve. So what they'll do is they'll post pictures of the things that they have on sale. They'll post it in their stories. They will let you know how many are available and what price it is. And you just need to DM them in reply to that particular photo of the stories, and whoever claims it first will be offered it first, and there's a certain amount of time that they will hold it for you before they will put anybody who is on the wait list for it will contact them. Often there are like several, like I've seen like 30 of this is available or 13 or something. So often there are multiple things available, and so you guys can try out their yarns at a discount, either things that are current in their catalog with the code SUMMER15 from now through Monday, July 5th at a 15% discount. Or if you guys want to try out something that they are discontinuing at an even steeper discount, go make sure that you check out Wonderland Yarns Instagram stories every Friday, like I think it's 11:30. If 11:30 is not correct, I will edit that in the bottom of the screen here, but I'm pretty sure it's 11:30 Eastern Standard Time in the morning. So anyway, so this is what my kerfluffle yarn looks like, all caked up. It is beautiful. I love it. It is so me with the jewel tones and all the speckles. And so I started my test knit for Annie, and so I wanted to show you guys what it is looking like so far. So this is a bottom up round sweater, knit in the round sweater, and then the front and the back are going to be knit flat, and the sleeves then picked up and knit in the round from there. So this is the back view, and this is what, see if I can get it to maybe focus. This is the back view of the sweater and how the yarn is knitting up in stockinette. And then the front portion, I don't have that much done yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you this. Has this beautiful textured pattern in it. So there's like 2 easy cables on the side and then a texture pattern in between those. So that is the front panel. And so I feel like the camera is kind of blowing. Oh, there we go. I think you guys can see that. So yeah, so that's what it is. That's what it is looking like so far. And so this one is due at the end of July. It was supposed to be like the 19th, but she just pushed it back a week. So yeah, so I hope that I will make a whole bunch of progress on this for next week. But it's a really fun pattern. It's super easy. It's like the easiest pattern in the middle, so simple, and then just stockinette the rest of the way around. So I'm having a lot of fun working on this design. I really love when she put out the call sheet and showed her picture, she used an all over speckled yarn, and she said that this sweater would be perfect to show off a speckled yarn. And so that was why I was like, oh gosh, Wonderland Yarns makes beautiful speckled yarn, so that'll be perfect for my brand ambassador project. So I love it. Like, you can really see the texture and just all with the speckles all over. I think this is turning out so beautifully. So that is my last work in progress for knitting. I still have so much to share with you guys. I don't have any acquisitions today, but I have some natural dyeing stuff, and I have some acid dyeing stuff to show you guys. Plus I have a spinning update. So I think we will start, since we are talking about Wonderland yarns right now, and because my spinning project is using Frabjous fibers, which is the fiber portion of Wonderland yarns, I think we'll just do spinning first. Okay, so I'll start by showing you guys the label, because I don't know if I showed the label the last couple times that I showed you. But this is Frabjous fibers, and the fiber that I'm working with is this hand-dyed Polworth wool top, and it is so beautiful. It is color 252 Iris. Now, I do not know if they still have this colorway. This is something that came actually from my stash that I dug out recently. I had purchased this gorgeous fiber on a previous trip to the Vermont area. Wonderland Yarns Frabjous Fibers is based in Brattleboro, so you can find their yarns all over like New England. Like when we were in New Hampshire last week, plus we drove up to Portland, Maine for a day, I saw so much Wonderland yarns in the yarn shops that I visited. I think every single one, maybe the one that carried more of like the Icelandic rustic type yarns, maybe they didn't have Wonderland yarns, but like everybody else did. So it's really easy to find if you live in the New England area in your local yarn shop. So on one of the trips that I took up there, we found this beautiful fiber. So this is what it looked like times 4, because this is 1/4. So what I did was I split my fiber lengthwise so that I would have 4 kind of identical bumps so that I could spin my colors in the same order every time. So this is bump number 4. I just dug into bump 3, and so I have like, I'm not that far through my 3rd bump yet, but this is what bump number 3 is looking like so far. And so I am about to be in a purple section, which is I think pretty much where I was with bump 2 last time. But I have 2 that I want to show you. So I've got 2 bumps off of my drop spindle now. One of them is so much bigger than the first. And so I don't know, I mean, I didn't measure when I split it into 4 sections. I just split it lengthwise in half, and then I split each in half. So maybe just my second bump had a lot more fiber than the first one, because there's a pretty significant difference in the size, but my colors are still in the right order. So I don't know, I have so much more yardage. So I'm curious to see how bumps 3 and 4 are going to turn out in terms of size. Hopefully one of them will be closer to this size and then one will be closer to this size, because then when I apply them together, that will hopefully line up a little bit better. But I just love so much how these are coming out. It is so pretty. It is so pretty. I am so happy with this one. So yeah, that's my update on this. I will be playing these together after I do the singles. I don't want to apply these 2 together because the sizes are so different. So I'm gonna just wait and do the other 2 singles and then see whichever one is closer to this size, I'll apply with this one, and whichever one is smaller, I will apply with this one. So that is my plan, and that is my spinning update for today. And so now we're gonna move over to dyeing. So I actually have quite a variety of dyeing projects to talk to you guys about today. I have some natural dyeing updates. I have some acid dyeing that I did on Wednesday too. So I have some stuff to show you guys. I'm so excited. So for natural dyeing updates, Owen and I did a bunch of foraging. Last weekend, we took a walk just up the street and found a lichen jackpot on just the corner up there. Somebody has some big old oak trees, and outside of their fence, right against the road, there was lichen. It was unbelievable. There was so much lichen. I will post a picture so you guys can see. But we had enough lichen that I got 2 more jars started of lichen dye. And then I have also another jar started. So, in case you guys want to see, whoops. All right, so here's like a really good piece that I can show you guys, or up close just to see. It's a little bit wet from the rain, the jar, not the lichen. So this is lichen, and this is a piece that I love the most because it does not have any bark on it. It has completely just fallen in a big chunk off of the tree. And so this is like the easiest thing to collect. It's kind of hard to find them in such good shape like this. Usually there's still a little bit of bark attached to it, but so pretty. I love this so much. Owen is just, he's like turning into my little forager. It's the cutest. It is the cutest thing. He just, if he sees something on the ground, even if we're not foraging, like sometimes I take him out and we're obviously looking for things. And then there's other times where he's either like, when he was still in school, he was maybe spotted some at the bus stop, and we'll like take it in the morning and put it in like a spot on the side of the road so that on his way home from the bus, he remembers to pick it up for me. So sweet. Like yesterday, he was at his aunt's house and he came home with a piece of lichen for me that he found at my aunt's house, not his aunt, my aunt. Yeah, so we got 2 more jars started. So this we mixed up with ammonia and water on the 27th of June. So I'm just gonna give this a little shake. So you can see how the bubbles right now are like a amberish yellow, kind of like a brownish yellow, right? There's not too much of that like reddish purplish color at this time because it's only been a few days. So there's that one. And then there is this one, which is at the same stage because this is also from June 27th. So yeah, we found so much lichen up the street that I just went ahead and I started two more dye jars. So now I've got another jar, and all right, this one over here, I think I can go ahead and close that up now. This one, I know you guys are concerned about my leaky jar. It does have rubber in here. It doesn't leak all the time. Sometimes it's gonna leak right now, I'm sure of it. But the other day, like I was shaking it again, nothing was dripping. It does it sometimes. But I'm gonna shake it, and I want you guys to look at the bubbles because they're seriously turning red right now. So it's dripping a little bit. But you guys see how those bubbles are red now? So we are really starting to get some color. So this is about a month now from when I started the last jar, maybe a few days shy of a month. I had already given that a good shake earlier, so I will shake it again after I'm done touching all of my knitted things and can go wash my hands. But yeah, so it's been a month and we're getting like that reddish color already. And then those, like after just a few days, you can see it, how like there's such a difference in the color. So I'm really getting excited. I think that the recommendation was 3 to 6 months to get that purple color, which puts us right into the fall, about the end of August, September, something like that. So I'm probably gonna try to let this go all the way until then. And I'm so excited. Purple is just my favorite. And to think that you can get a purple dye from this stuff on the trees just blows my mind. So on Monday, Owen and I took a little drive, only 5 minutes away, to this little park. It's like a little miniature nature preserve, just kind of in the middle of a neighborhood. And it has like a circular path and then like a man-made out of like a fallen tree slide that was really cool for Owen to play on. And I did not know what we were going to find there, but holy moly, it was Oak Gall City over there. So I'm so excited to know that just 5 minutes from my house, if I want to go forage for some oak galls, I can. I don't know if you guys can see. Can you guys see all of those? There's so many in here. I mean, before Monday, I had like 4 oak galls total. And I found so many. If you guys want to see what it looks like on the inside, this one is kind of like a half oak gall. And it's so they're also known as oak apples. And I guess the different varieties of oak trees produce different varieties of oak galls. Makes sense. But yeah, there's so many. I found some that were a little bit more decomposed like this, which is totally fine because when I'm ready to use them, I'm going to be grounding them up anyway. So I've got, just to show you the difference in size, there's this little tiny one, right? And you can see it's got the hole there. So like they can be really small. And here's one that's like a bit bigger. And then this might have been like that first one that we found here. I'm not sure. And then like this other one was like so big. So there's such a variety of size. I don't know. I was just so excited. It was like everywhere we looked, there were oak galls all over the ground. So I cannot wait to go back and see what I can find. Here's one still on like a leaf branch. I mean, there must be like 25 in here or something now. So this is like an amount that I can actually do something with now. So the oak galls, I have been doing reading on it. I'm doing a lot of reading because I think you guys, I just ordered some bear yarn, like 30 skeins. And I think I'm going to see what I can dye and maybe have a go at selling you guys some. I'm so excited. So I don't know. Just got 30 skeins, but I would love to take those 30 skeins and dye up some beautiful yarn. I got 3 different bases coming to me, all organic. There's no superwash in it at all, because I kind of feel like if I am going to be natural dyeing, even though so far I have been dyeing on everything and anything I can get my hands on, it just seems kind of funny to me to do natural dyeing but then have a superwash process on the yarn that I'm dyeing. So I think at least for right now, I'm going to try to get my hands on organic yarn as much as I can and just keep it plastic free completely. I'm so excited. So I don't know what this is going to be. I don't know if this is the start of a little business, but I am going to be experimenting with a lot of different natural dyes. I'm not going to be able to keep it all for myself, so I'm going to share it with you guys. I'm going to sell it maybe in an Etsy shop or something. I'm excited. And then with that, I want to invest in more bear wool to do more natural dyeing. So I don't know what kind of scale I'm going to be able to develop this to, but I am just having too much fun with it. And it's like my husband said, he's like, you seem so at peace and so happy and peaceful when you're doing it, that he is like fully supportive of me just doing it more. So yeah, I don't know what it's gonna mean, what it's gonna turn into, but I did just invest in 30 skeins of yarn to play around with. So excited. So that's all the natural dye. Oh wait, but I wanted to tell you about the oak galls. Yeah, because I've been reading. So the oak galls you can use them as a natural mordant because they're full of tannins. They do have they will give a slight tannish color. So you could either have like a really pale tannish color on its own. They're also great to mordant cellulose fibers as a base before dyeing the cellulose fibers, which don't take the same mordant that the animal protein fibers do. So that's one way that you can use them. And then the other way is you can, what's the word I'm looking for? You can alter it with like iron or something and get more of like a gray, or depending on how much iron you use, like a really deep gray or something. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to use these oak galls yet, if I'm going to use them as more of a mordant or more of a base color that I then adjust with like an iron. I can't think of what the word is called. I don't know why. It'll come to me as soon as I stop talking. But yeah, so these, I'm excited. I'm gonna keep collecting as many as I can because these are going to be super, super useful. I don't think they give the best color on their own, but when combined with other things, I think you can get some pretty amazing grays, I think, is what you can get out of these. But this is also gonna be a great mordant, like with my cotton yarn that didn't take the hibiscus. If I had used this as a mordant first, that might have turned out better. Okay, so that is now going to segue us into the acid dyeing that I did this weekend as well. All right, so let's go talk about that. A lot of you guys probably know that because I do Paradise Fibers unboxing videos, that at Christmas time I was the recipient from my husband of a Fiber of the Month subscription to Paradise Fibers. That was my Christmas present from my husband. This is what I want from him for Christmas every year for the rest of my life. So Bryce, if you're listening, just keep on subscribing to Paradise Fibers for my Christmas present. I love it so much. It is the best Christmas present in the whole world. Anyway, so if you guys saw my last unboxing video, you will know that Paradise Fibers sent us some silk to do an ice dyeing experiment with. And this is still wet. It has not dried yet because, let's see, well, I guess I'm taking it off of this now. Oh my goodness. So this is some straight up mulberry silk. It is so soft at the moment. It is still also so wet. So on Wednesday, we had like the most unbelievably hot day. And so part of what I did, except for like go in the pool with Owen that day, the other thing that we did was we got out this silk and the dyes that Paradise Fibers sent, and we did the ice dyeing because they suggested that we use the 3 dyes that they sent and take a hot summer day and do a summer dye day and do it with ice dyeing technique. So that is exactly what we did on Wednesday. It was so much fun. So of course I've got another video that will show you the start to finish of that eventually coming out. Yeah, but Owen and I did this together. And so this, I have a picture that I took. I'll stick the picture in so you can see what the silk looked like before all of this beautiful color was added. And then I've got another picture that I can insert with in process with the ice on it. And so it was so much fun. It was so easy. So they sent us 3 colors, like a blue, a yellow, and a magenta. And what you do is you set out your fiber on a wire rack, and I had a bin underneath to catch the dye as it melted, because what you do is you put the fiber on the rack over the bin, and then you cover it with a bag of ice, and then you put the colors of the dye powder on top of that. And then the sun does all the work. It melts the ice. If you guys saw my Kool-Aid video with the snow dyeing, it's the same thing that we did with the snow in the winter in the bathtub, where we did the Kool-Aid on top of the snow, and then as the snow melted, the color goes into the fiber. So it was the same exact process, just with acid dyes and a brand new wire rack that will never be used for baking anything, ever, because acid dye is toxic. Don't do it. Yeah, so I got some new wire racks, and so we just let the sun do the work, and we ended up with like these beautiful colors. So it is still wet now, but this is some silk, and I'm gonna be spinning this up. So this turned out so gorgeous. I was so happy about this. I can't wait to spin it. It just needs to dry first, but we've had that hot day like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Wednesday was when we did this, and then it's been raining. Except, I mean, it's not raining right now, so I've got this out here right now, but it's been raining, so I haven't been able to let this sit outside to dry, and I don't know how to get the drying process on this to speed up at all. No idea. Never dyed fiber before. I've always just dyed yarn. So it was easy. You have to soak it in vinegar and water for like up to 48 hours. So I prepped that on Monday night because I had a look at the weather and knew we were gonna have a really hot day Wednesday. And so I decided that that would be the perfect day to do the dyeing, and it just worked out so well. So that is that. And then this is the last thing I've got to talk about today. Do you guys remember, I'm gonna put in a picture, a few videos ago where I talked about, and I showed you guys the yarn that I dyed with the hibiscus flowers, and my hand spun turned out to be a really lovely pinkish reddish brown, more on the brown side than the pinkish red. But I had also thrown in some Barocco cotton. It's like modern DK, something like that. So I think it's half, I don't know if it's half and half blend, but it was cotton and polyamide maybe. So it was a fiber blend, but definitely it was a plant-based fiber, and I did not mordant it ahead of time or anything, and it just did not take the hibiscus dye really at all. I mean, I actually tried to do it a second time in the hibiscus dye bath, and I think I made it worse. So I have a picture I will insert to show you what it looked like after the first round. It was like a really light gray, like maybe like this gray with like the faintest hint of a purple, kind of like this. You could kind of see the purple tint in the natural outdoor light, but indoors, like it just kind of looked like a silvery gray yarn. And I just wasn't that excited by it. I was pretty bummed. I mean, it wasn't a bad color. It just, it wasn't something that I was going to use in that state. I almost even just threw it out, but I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't, because what I did with it was all of the dye that melted from the ice collected in the bin underneath, right, through the wire rack. It all melted, and so I had a dye bath waiting for me to use. And so while this had the ice on it and was melting, I put that cotton yarn into the water vinegar solution for a few hours while the other dye was doing its thing with the ice. So I had that prepped with the vinegar at that point. And then I didn't know really what color I was going to get from the blue, yellow, and magenta all combining together. But I ended up with a beautiful purple. This is still soaking wet because I have not gotten it to dry. But you guys, all right, so I've already put a picture, so you saw what it looked like. And now I have this, my most favorite color in the whole universe. So I'm so glad I didn't get rid of it. It turned out so pretty. I would have expected maybe to get not a beautiful purple from those dye colors mixing together, but maybe like, I don't know. Bryce kind of thought I would be getting some kind of brown, something more muddy, but I got beauty. I got a beautiful purple. So I rescued my failed hibiscus yarn with my acid dye bath that was left over from my ice dyeing. And I just wish that this would dry already. It is so wet. So wet. Yeah, so I have it out here. It's gonna rain again, and I can't really let it sit outside when it's raining. because if it's getting wet from rain, it is not drying, obviously. So yeah, the weather is not really cooperating for this to get dry anytime soon. It is so wet, but the color is perfect. It's so pretty. There might be like a little, it's hard to tell, it's wet. There might be like a little variation in color there, but it's like a pinkish purple. It is so pretty. I'm so happy. I'm so pleased that I thought to do that with some yarn. I didn't have anything else. Like I'm out of bare yarn. I have nothing else that I could have put in there. So I'm really glad that I had that cotton polyamide blend from Barocca that I messed up. Well, it didn't really mess it up. It was like a really bright bleached white to begin with, and then it turned like a gray, silvery purplish gray, except minus the purplish. And I'm really glad that I still had it just sitting there, because I was like, I'm just gonna throw that in, because at this point, if I don't like it, it doesn't even matter, because I already don't like it. And I rescued it. This is so pretty. So that dye that I did on Wednesday gave me this gorgeous fiber, 100% silk fiber to work with, and it rescued my cotton yarn. So that was a really successful dyeing experiment. I am not planning to do more acid dye. I love indie dyed yarns. I think other people are so good at it. That market to me is totally saturated with just people who do it amazing, and I am happy to experiment with it maybe every once in a while if Paradise Fiber sends me something, but I have no plans to go out and buy a whole bunch of acid dyes. I don't have the space to be doing that, and it's just, I prefer to spend my time knitting all of those beautiful yarns. My heart with the dyeing is, my heart is in the natural dyeing. It is fascinating, the whole process of taking something that is a pretty basic like green or brown color and just extracting beauty from it and being so surprised in the colors that you can get. That is where the magic is for me in my heart there. So the bulk of my dyeing is going to be natural dyeing. And I'm excited to see where that takes me. I'm not really sure, how it's gonna go, but I want to just learn and experiment as much as possible, which means I'm gonna have too much yarn for me to be able to deal with personally. So yeah, so anyway, that is my loose plan. So that is everything I have to share with you guys today. I thought it was kind of a lot. So I have a lot of questions that I need you guys to answer. What should I do with the firefly yarn? What shawl pattern can I make with one skein plus a mini? I need to know that from you guys. I need your opinion on which fiber, which color, the rhododendron or the leaf, to knit my sweater out of. And I guess that's all I need you guys for, but I want answers. I want your opinions to those things. So please leave me a comment below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you guys again. I have that video about the oak dyeing to come out, so if you haven't checked that out, go watch that. I've got others in the works. I've still got my Harrisville Designs interview with Chick to put together for you guys. So there's so many videos that are going to be coming out in the near future. So yeah, I've had a blast sitting down. I'm so glad it didn't rain on me out here, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.